Hey guys, little paint girl here, and today I want to outline the differences between watercolors, oils, and acrylics. Now, I don't have too much experience in watercolors and oils. In fact, I haven't ever painted with oils. I do know some things about them, but for the most part, I paint in acrylics and occasionally dabble in watercolors. Not really, though. Painting in oils is definitely on my bucket list, but I haven't gotten there yet. So, like I said, I do know some stuff about oils, though, so hopefully the information that I do know will still be useful to you, even if I can't go as far in depth as I would like. So let's start with watercolors. I think everyone is pretty familiar with watercolors. I know kids will play around with them a lot. They come in tins yay big, or at least the kid ones do. You can get them in tubes if you're actually serious about painting with watercolors. Their drying time is relatively fast. I mean, it's not the fastest drying time in the world, but it's not oils, and we'll get to oil drying time in a minute. But the colors tend to not be as vibrant. They're more of washes than actual color, and but they also dilute in water, which can make for easier use and easier cleanup. So that's my piece on watercolors. Like I said, I don't use them too frequently, so I'm not as well versed in the ins and outs of watercolors as I would like to be. Let's just hit oils really quickly. Like I said, I don't paint in oils, but I do know something about them. Some things, plural. You need extra products when you're working with oils. You can't just use tap water to dilute them or anything, because obviously oil paints are actually oil-based. So you do need different types of oils to dilute those or whatever if you want a thinner paint. And then cleaning up too, cleaning your brushes, you can't use tap water and regular soap or whatever. You have to use some sort of oil with that, just to make sure that you get everything off the brush. The oil colors tend to be muted. You'll see a lot older paintings or whatever from Renaissance and stuff like that. All their colors are muted. And they did use oils in those paintings. Those aren't acrylic. But, they tend to be more muted. They're good for, portraits and stuff like that, obviously. They do have a very, very slow drying time, though. If you like building paintings up in layers, oils probably aren't for you. I'm not saying that, to be negative about oils or whatever. I'm just saying that because, oils, they do take a very long time to dry. I think it's up to about a week for a layer to dry completely, completely, not tacky or anything. They do take a while. So if you're if you're a slow painter and you like doing things, getting all the details down immediately and stuff like that, then I think oils would be great for you. But I mean, as far as layers, I love painting in layers and doing silhouettes and stuff like that. So oils just, yeah, oils are on my bucket list, but as far as right now, they don't work with my painting style or whatever you want to call it. And with my painting style, we get to acrylics. Now, acrylics, in contrast, have a very fast drying time. You can have an entire layer done in about 10 minutes. That's pretty fast. It's usually about 20 minutes to have it completely dry, not even tacky. But you can start painting on another layer about 15 minutes in, and you'll be fine. So I'm a really impatient person. So I do like acrylics for that reason. I like getting everything down right away. And like I said, I do work in silhouettes. So I don't, I do as far as highlights and shadows, I do that stuff, but not as much because it's, I'll have to show you one of my paintings sometime. But it's just a block of color. It's just a silhouette. It's my main, the focus of the painting. Acrylics, you can also get more vibrant colors, where oils are muted. Acrylics tend to be more vibrant unless you try to mute them yourself. If you have a purple or whatever, but it's too bright, then you can add yellow to it and make it darker. I'll explain all of that later in another video. But yeah, acrylics, straight out of the tube, they tend to be more vibrant in nature. And acrylics are also water-based, so going back to watercolors, acrylics are also water-based. You can dilute them with water. And acrylics are very versatile because you can, just, if you use them just straight out of the tube or just with paint or with another medium or something like that, you can get them to look like watercolors, or, sorry, not watercolors, oils. You can get them to look like oils, but if you dilute them with water, then you can get them to look like watercolors, and that's when you get into like washes and stuff like that. So that's something to keep in mind too, is that acrylics are kind of like the in-between paint, and with it being the in-between paint comes my recommendation. I do recommend acrylic for beginners, and not just because I know more about acrylics. But no, it's because they're very versatile. So when you're a beginner, you're trying to figure out your style and you're trying to figure out what you like. So I would definitely recommend picking up a few acrylics first, and then as you get more into it, maybe a medium or two, just so you know like which style you like best. And then you can lean toward, do I want to stay in acrylic, or do I want to go to watercolors or oils or something like that. So that said, acrylics can be very frustrating for beginners. You know, if you're very slow and methodical, like when you're putting down the paint, you know, acrylic can be frustrating because you're, okay, well, here's a darker patch of the sky and a lighter part of the sky, and I just did the darker patch, and I'm trying to fill in the lighter patch, and I'm going to blend them together, but the darker patch is already dry, so it's not going to blend. Then it's this whole cycle of now I need to add more paint, and now it's all dry, and it can be frustrating for beginners. I do recommend having a spray bottle with, yes, I just happened to have it sitting right next to me. Yes, I recommend using a spray bottle. The finer the better, because you don't want like spots in your painting where the water has taken off the paint. Because like I said before, acrylics they are water based, but okay, well you can't see that, but it's a very fine mist, and now half of me is wet. So yeah, I wonder if I can like get it in the light. And nope, still doesn't work. Okay, well I just looked like an idiot for nothing. But okay. But yeah, like the finer the mist, the better. You don't want something that's you don't want a squirt bottle or whatever that's like a Nerf gun, basically. You know, where it's like just one like straight line of water. You don't the finer the mist, the better. And you can also use it on your palette too, if you're like using your palette and the paints are drying on the palette while you're still mixing or whatever. You know, you just use a fine misting spray bottle and put some water on that, and that'll be good to go. And just be careful that you don't like dilute your paints or anything. That's a concern that some beginners run into as well, I've noticed. So those are the three main types of paint, and then you can get into other things like mixed media and stuff like that, which I'm not going to cover here. But those are the big three, I think. And like I said, I recommend acrylics, but with that, there are also certain downfalls. So just make sure that you look at the pros and cons of each one. Check your local like art supply store to just see what they have. If they have a better supply of watercolors or oils, you know, whatever, you know, just find out what works for you, find out your style and what you like, and then you can decide from there where you want to go. So with that in mind, this is Little Paint Girl, and thank you for watching.